Hey guys, it's Eric from Eric F. Drums. Today we continue the series with the next chapter of our look at field electronic drums and the products that they're putting out. Today I'm going to focus on what I think is maybe the most critical part of any electronic drum set, and really one of the three most critical pieces that lead to either success or failure with any electronic drum set. I think you might know what I'm referring to. Yeah, it's the hi-hat. We're going to talk about this today. So today we're going to focus on the hi-hat because it's such an integral part to any electronic drum set. And I got to tell you, as a longtime drummer and a longtime player of electronic drums, I think any of us know that it's sort of the linchpin of whether you have a really great electronic drum set or a not so great electronic drum set. It's always a sense of, can you dial in the right sounds from the hi-hat? Can you get it to function properly? Can you get the threshold between open and closed position to be right? And honestly, there's a lot of electronic hi-hats out there that just don't do a great job. There are, electronic hi-hat controllers that are made of plastic and are cheap and don't perform well, or they break over time. There's actual hi-hats that, maybe are made of metal, but then they stop triggering over some period of time. There's obviously all the rubber hi-hats out there. Some of them are amazing, whether it's some of the Roland stuff that they've had in market forever, or some of the ATV hi-hats and the like. But then you're sort of faced with hitting rubber with your stick, and on a hi-hat, it can be difficult because the articulation and the feel from the stick hitting the hat through your hand is just much different than a traditional acoustic hi-hat. That's where things like this, like the Field Halo hi-hats, really fit a great niche and a great need for electronic drummers like myself. So first, let's start with some of the physical characteristics of the Field Halo hi-hat. Clearly, it's a 14-inch hi-hat. It's got that great hand-hammered look on the sort of interior portion of the cymbal, while it's got that really brilliant finish on the outside rim of the cymbal, which I absolutely love that look. It goes along great with the rest of the cymbals in my arsenal. I also frankly love the hardware that they put on it. It's got that really highly knurled knob that makes it easy to lock it down into place. Very high quality hardware that they're using on this. And certainly once you lock it down, it's not going to go anywhere. I do want you to also take a look, if I can get a decent shot of this right here, this other metal piece that's sticking through the bell of the cymbal is the anti-rotation device that they have built in, which I love. This way, it's not constant. The hats aren't constantly spinning on you, in two different directions and messing with the triggering and all of that stuff. So it keeps everything neatly in place, which I absolutely love. Now we look at the backside of the Field Halo hi-hats, and this is where things get really interesting. Because first of all, you'll notice that there is no plastic on this anywhere. Honestly, the only plastic that you'll find is here and here. You'll see there are two red plastic tabs that are locking mechanisms for your cables. So the output cables that you'll plug in to the to the trigger output and the pedal control output will be locked permanently into place. They won't come out accidentally, and that's what those red locking mechanisms are for. All of this, pure metal housings. There is nothing cheap about this. So, the idea of longevity, when I look at these hats, it gives me great confidence over the long term of ownership. The other thing that I love is when you look at the back of the hats, it may be hard to see, but along the rim here of the bottom hat is a black, I don't know if it's rubber, like a hard plastic, hard rubber, it's hard to tell, but a black rim And really it functions as a stick guard. So when you're going hard on the hats, it's not gonna sort of, wood chop your sticks to oblivion. It really helps save your sticks. I assume that's what the intended purpose of that was for. Really, it's been great. I've had another set of Halo hi-hats for 6 months, and I had never broken a stick on those hi-hats. So I gotta think that that ring around the outside has something to do with that. Okay, now we're looking inside the Halo hi-hats, and what you're gonna see in there is you'll see, obviously the controller, which is in the middle there. And as you can tell, this is no cheap plastic controller. I see steel in there. I see, either black metal or some sort of really hard, high impact material that appears blackened. You'll also see the cables that are neatly tucked inside. And you might even be able to get a glimpse in there of the fact that they also use what looks like a top plate made out of aircraft quality aluminum, which I assume is what they use to deaden the acoustic sound of the hats. So there is nothing cheaply done about this. This is as high quality as you could possibly get, all the way down to every single, nut and bolt and washer that you see on all of their cymbals, but certainly these hi-hats. Okay, so now we're going to give just an up-close look so you can get a great sense for the fit and finish of these hats. You should be able to see that rubber ring just poking out along the edge there as I move around the diameter of this hat. That should give you a good idea of that stick saving mechanism. And then we'll go real tight on the hardware so you can get a sense for what we're talking about here. It's just high quality stuff. Again, I really like that deeply knurled knob to help you lock down the hats on your stand. And of course we have the Halo branding right here. Okay, so I do want to give you a little shot of the Halo hi-hat versus the Raw series hi-hat that I've been using in all my videos for about the last 6 months. So that's the Halo. They're both the same size. And this is the Raw. So the Raw really is just a fully hand-hammered look. All the same features, everything's identical, triggers just awesomely. It's just really, I think, an aesthetic preference as to which one you like the best. So tell me in the comments, which do you prefer? Halo or Raw? You let me know. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Okay, so I've got the Field Halo hi-hats on my drum kit right now, and I just wanted to let you know how hard or easy it is dialing it in on what I use, which is a Pearl Mimic. Honestly, it's pretty damn easy. Just so you know, you can go to the Field website, and they actually have trigger settings for most of their cymbals and for most of the current modules, and I think some older modules too, that are still on the market. And you could download the trigger settings right from the Field website, import them into your module, and then you could tweak it personally, to your playing style. I don't recommend ever just taking the triggers and leaving them, or the trigger settings and leaving them as is, because everyone plays a little bit different. So on my Mimic, I downloaded them and I barely tweaked them. I did the normal things you would do with any new pad on your Mimic. You look at the bow trigger settings, you capture top velocity, you go to the edge trigger settings, you capture top velocity, you go to hi-hat control hyphen hi-hat position, and you adjust the open close settings. Very, very easy. So honestly, with the new hi-hats, it took me all of about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops, to really get them exactly as I wanted. I think you could use on the Mimic the Roland VH13 version 2 trigger settings, and you could tweak it from there. Or again, you could just download the settings from the Field website and tweak it from there. Okay, so I just want to show you real quick, just a couple quick sound checks of how they perform through the module so you get a sense for sensitivity. And this is literally me dialing it in for maybe 2 minutes max. I haven't really messed around with it on the module too much. This is pretty much almost out of the box with very little changes on the Mimic module. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea. They function great. I mean, to me, it feels really the same as using an acoustic hi-hat, but I will say it feels about 100% different than using a traditional E-drum rubber hi-hat. So if that's what you're used to, there will be a little bit of a learning curve getting acclimated to using metal cymbals again. So the one thing I will say about field hi-hats, whether it's these Halo hi-hats or whether it's the Raw series that I've used before, I will say that you do want to make sure you have a quality hi-hat stand. And what I mean by that is something that really has some good spring tension. It's not a cheapo, $30 or $40 hi-hat stand. And the reason being, these hats are not light. They're heavy. They're heavy duty. They also have, that aircraft aluminum plate inside. They've got that heavy duty controller inside. They've got the heavy hardware. So I would just suggest that, make sure that if you're investing in the hats, just have a decent quality or better hi-hat stand. And if not, just get one. I mean, you could get a nice hi-hat stand for less than $100 nowadays. That would probably do the trick with really good hi-hats like this. But I just wanted to at least call that out because you want to make sure you have some, a good stand to be able to get the open closed action that you want out of hats like this. Okay, that's it for today's video on the Field Halo hi-hats. Again, there's more coming down the road in upcoming videos. We're going to also focus episode on the crashes and splashes, and then we're going to do another episode on the 3-zone ride, which we'll go into some detail on as well. I certainly appreciate you checking this out. Feel free to check out what Field is doing at www.fieldelectronicdrums.com. Tell them you're a friend of the channel. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one.